Welcome, my friends. Hope you're all good. Plenty of news to get through today. Let me know if you can hear me, you can see me. We've got a lot of Switch news like every other day. We're going to talk about the Switch 2 power, whether it's as powerful as we all thought. Is it going to be comparing to a PS5, a PS4 Pro, or just the base PS4? Then we've got some news on Platinum Games celebrating Bayonetta, and we've got some Xenoblade Chronicles X news, which is looking pretty dandy. Before that, I've got to mention, the first thing we've got to mention today, before we get into the videos, we do have a Switch 2 giveaway, I believe, for our subscribers. So if you haven't subscribed yet, make sure you hit that like and subscribe, and you will be in for a Switch 2 console giveaway. Right now, I can see in the chat, we've got DG's in the chat. Yoku, how's it going to Yoku and DG? Good to see you. Crafty Cookies in the house. My throat is a little bit better, not all the way better, but it's slowly getting there. Let me lower the music a little bit. We've got the intro music, must come down a little bit. Nedson's in the house as well. How's it going, Nedson? Hope you're all well, my friend. I can see you there. Right, let's get to the first of the day. So, the Switch 2, is it going to be as powerful as the PS4 Pro like we've all thought? Well, Digital Foundry themselves, they have had a little chat about it, and they seem to think otherwise. They do not think what we think about it. In fact, they think it's going to be quite a bit less powerful. So, I've got a little snippet, about a 5-minute clip we're going to watch together, and then we're all going to see what we think about it. It's going to be about 5 minutes. They actually spoke about the Switch 2 for about 35-40 minutes. So if you want to see the rest of their discussion, make sure you go and check out their video. It's on their YouTube page at the moment. We're going to listen to a 5-minute clip specifically talking about what they think the power of the Switch 2 themselves will be. So I'm going to lower the music here. Let's get this bad boy ready. Okay, so it should be here.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there's been a lot of discussion.
Let me know if you guys can hear it properly.
The potential performance of the Switch 2, and I've kind of been sat back.
Let me know if you can hear the video in the background, guys.
My lip about some of the things that are being said. There's basically a kind of narrative forms. I'm checking
your.
Everyone runs with it, comments. And it becomes kind of established fact, even though there is no actual basis for it whatsoever. And what I'm seeing over the holiday.
Hey, Tony K and Tony.
Idea that the Switch 2 is going to be, when docked, as powerful as a PS4 Pro, and I've no idea how this came about. Because it makes no sense whatsoever. Possibly it's down to teraflop numbers, which again is, Mark Cerny's kind of eloquently stated that teraflops numbers just don't make sense anymore. They're just irrelevant. And, maybe a Switch 2 could have 4 teraflops of GPU compute, but the actual manifestation of that performance in gaming will be very, very different. I mean, the ROG Ally has 8 teraflops of GPU compute, for example. It's nowhere near a PS4 Pro in terms of like raw raster capabilities. So, basically, what can I say? I'll tell you what I'm expecting. I'm expecting a lot of PS4 ports, and those ports will be running at a lower resolution than the PlayStation 4 version. Internally, but that won't matter, primarily because you've got DLSS.
Right, so that's something that we've all been saying, right? I think a lot of us realistically knew that the Switch 2 probably wouldn't be as powerful on paper as a PS4 Pro, right? That would be insane. I've definitely been one of the ones who've always said, like, a PS4 Pro in your hand seems crazy to me. I didn't believe that. People look down on the fact that it might only be as powerful as what Digital Foundry is saying, and that's a base PS4. But to me, that sounded awesome. A PS4 power in your hand now, but it's going to be better than that, because what Digital Foundry is saying is that it's going to be maybe running less natively than the PS4 Pro, but with DLSS, or the Switch 2's version of it, it will balance out, and it will, to the eye, perform the same or better. So that's what he's saying at the moment. So let's continue.
To kind of upscale back to a decent resolution. If you look back to the projections I made using an RTX 2050, it was able to do like Death Stranding at native 720p, 30 frames per second, but actually outputting at 1440p versus using DLSS. So, that isn't PS4 Pro levels of performance, but it doesn't really matter because the output is still going to look really, really good.
Exactly. The output is still going to look really, really good. So as he said, he had, Death Stranding running, I think he said 720, and it went up to 1440p. And so that's what the Switch 2 is going to be able to do. Not just with games, like he said, a lot of PS4 ports, but PS5 games as well. They might not go all the way up, like I said yesterday, 4K 60, but we will get at least 1080 60 or something thereabouts, right? So this is not to worry people, right? This is just to like bring our expectations down to a regular level. We're not going to get a PS5 in our hands. We're not going to get a PS4 Pro in our hands on paper. But with what Nintendo is going to be able to do, hopefully, if the rumors are true and what we know so far about their version of DLSS, it's going to be able to bring the games up to a visually comparable performance. Let's continue.
Honestly, I think we probably will see Death Stranding. I think we'll see a lot of PS4 games appearing on Switch 2 because it's in that kind of ballpark in terms of what it's capable of doing, especially with DLSS factored into the equation. We've also had, of course, those comments from Activision, from Bobby Kotick back in the day, that it is kind of like a PS4 class device. Where things will actually get really interesting is how it is essentially a much more modern chip, however, with ray tracing features, with machine learning features, and therefore, similar to what happened with, the Switch 1, ballpark performance similar to like Xbox 360, but you actually got a lot more out of it.
Exactly. Think about how much better the original Switch outperformed the Xbox 360, right? The Switch 1 was said to be that, right? A little bit more powerful than the Wii U, Xbox 360. They're there or thereabouts. The type of games we got on there, were insane because the technology was much newer. And that's what they're saying here. But later on, they also state that it's going to be much more of a generational leap with the Switch 2 in comparison to the Switch 1. Let's continue. By the way, I've just seen in the chat, I know we got Saya Jimmy there. Hola, Saya Jimmy, amigo mío. He is here early. You are here early. By the way, we're going to try and get to 20 likes today. So if you haven't hit the like, consider hitting that like. Not just that, consider if you're new here, hitting that, where is it? I'm supposed to have a subscribe button. Oh, it doesn't want to come out. Oh, we can't have everything in life. Right, so let's continue anyways. Here we go.
More modern architecture.
Yeah.
Supported modern APIs, that kind of thing. Oliver, what do you think about this? I mean, PS4 Pro, I guess maybe people are still hoping for like a 4K-like output.
Yeah.
Here we go.
I don't see it.
It does remind me a little bit, I remember, because I was guilty of this myself at the time, of reading threads about the Nintendo Revolution in like 2006. Oh. And how, they have parallax mapping, they have bump mapping, they have something special that's going to take it above and beyond the Xbox 360, and it's going to be a really special device in that respect. But no, I don't think it'll be as powerful as a PS4 Pro. I don't think it'll be quite there. I think ultimately, like, it will be probably a system that's more comparable to I would assume, a base last generation console. And I would also think that the way that it's going to be deployed is going to look very different to any of the last generation consoles or current generation consoles, in terms of the upscaling technology that's used, in terms of the kinds of machine learning technologies that might be deployed in the device, in terms of the internal resolutions of those games, they'll all look very different. So I wouldn't really be too keen to necessarily draw direct comparisons to any particular piece of hardware there. But I think a lot is just going to depend on how good is DLSS here, operating from very low resolutions, upscaling content.
Here you go. So very good. It's all going to be about the DLSS, and they had a lot of really cool information. I'm not going to show it because I'm going to implore you guys to watch their video, but there was something very interesting in the patent for Nintendo's own DLSS. So remind me, I'm going to tell you about that in a second.
PC, but is it a little bit lighter on the Switch? Because we know that DLSS is a fairly demanding process on this kind of variety of hardware here. And I think ultimately, as a 1080p screen and a 4K output docked, I would expect that in a lot of cases you're going to be temporally upsampling to something that's lower than those resolutions, and you're going to be upscaling from there, a naive upscale from there, like a bilinear Langshos upscale. You need to calibrate your expectations properly, and also probably accept a lot of like 1440p to 4K upscales, even in less demanding software like Switch 1 software potentially. And that's something that I think if you actually see the results on screen, it's not that bad. And indeed, scaling 900p or 800p even to a 1080p panel, an 8-inch 1080p panel, doesn't necessarily look that bad. So yeah, I would really just caution here. I think it's nice they probably will have high resolution output support for those like lower spec games, especially if they do have some specially optimized version of DLSS that can, let's say, upscale to 1440p or 4K in a manageable amount of time for this hardware. That's really a central question here. But yeah, I would pour cold water on the idea that this is going to be pulling off like, you know, Red Dead Redemption 2 at 1440p 60 or something. It's you know, we need to be measured about this stuff.
Right, so right there they're saying don't be expecting Red Dead Redemption 2 running at 4040p at 60, right? Which is like fair enough. But if we got Red Dead Redemption 2 at whatever 1080 60 or something like that, like that would look nice. As he said, you know, if you upscale the Switch 2 from what we know, the rumored specs, right, of what it could be, the Samsung 8 nanometer chip, that on a 1080 panel, you know, being upscaled from 900p, it's gonna look fine. It's gonna look more than fine. So this is why when everyone's panicking about the Switch 2, supposedly, we don't even know, but supposedly it looks like it having a 8 nanometer chip, it's not the end of the world by any means necessary at all. So that's what they're saying anyways. Let me just get ready for the next story because we got a bunch of other stories coming up. So that's what, you know, that's what they're saying. I don't know what you guys think. I'm believing it, to be honest. I think exactly what they're saying. I think temper our expectations. I think it is basically going to be 8 nanometer. I think, you know, it's going to be a base PS4, you know, in our hands, maybe on paper. But hold on, let me just get this ready. There we go. But bam, next story of the day, Xenoblade X. We're going to get into that. But that's going to be more than enough because it is going to have newer architecture, right? It is going to have DLSS. And in regards to the DLSS, I don't have the information on me now, but Digital Foundry went really deep into the patent that we all saw leaked last week. And not only is the Switch 2 going to have DLSS, but the type of DLSS it's going to have is insane. It wasn't just like a all-rounded batch based image that it collects and then upscales. It was able to almost pick and choose what it was going to upscale. So it could use still images and use a cloud software to kind of decipher that's what it wants a certain game to look like. But also that it could grab assets. It could separate assets and decide that those are the things that it wants to upscale. So it was quite a unique type of DLSS that the Switch 2 is looking like it's going to have. I've just seen in the chat, we've got Malio Man. How's it going, Malio Man? Malio Man says, before we jump into the Xenoblade Chronicles X story, we've got a story about Xenoblade Chronicles X and also a story about Bayonetta 3 or really Platinum Games. But and by the way, I'm going to get through these two stories. At the end, we'll do a Q&A and we'll discuss everything. Because it is a news video, I want to try and get through it quick. Hold on, let me just quickly read what Malio Man said. I don't want to ignore you. Malio Man says Switch is almost an Xbox 360 on paper, but almost an Xbox One in performance. Exactly. Switch 2, even if PS4 on paper, it will be more like a PS5 in performance. To the eye, it's going to be much closer. Like I think people are worrying way too much. I'll be honest. From the beginning, I did hover on the idea that it would be 8 nanometer. I didn't think Nintendo would chase power. It's too expensive. Nintendo likes older tech so they can make a profit on their console and they can do something interesting with that tech. So you're absolutely right, Malio Man. I think that's what we're going to get. I think to the eye, the Switch 2 will look better than PS4 for sure. I think it'll look better than PS4 Pro, if I'm honest. I really do. But we're going to jump back into this story and all the other ones. I'm going to quickly run along to the next story, which is Xenoblade Chronicles X, because we've got an update. from, of course, I think it was Pyoro this time again, wasn't it? Who was hinting at an announcement coming up soon. So if we go over here, I can show you guys. You guys can see that, right? I think you can. Give me a sec. I'll blow it up in a second as well so you can actually see it better. So this was on UK paper Metro. It says Nintendo announcement coming this week, claims insider, but it's not what you want. It's not obviously the Switch 2 announcement. Right. I'm gonna blow this up so you guys can see it. Give me a sec. Hopefully, why can't I see that? That's what. Oh, hold on. I know why. Give me a sec. Give me a sec. Here we go. So. It says, everyone's waiting for the announcement of the Switch 2, but Nintendo may have other priorities for this week. Nintendo may have had innocent intentions when it announced the company's next console will be revealed at some point before April, but as we approach the closing date, their strategy has led some feral side effects. With so many leaks about the console, the deadline date has made every other official announcement since then seem like a calculated act of trolling between alarm clocks, music apps, and direct presentations dedicated to the Nintendo Museum. It does seem like they're trolling us a little bit. Another announcement which would have been more positively received at another time is the revamped version of Xenoblade Chronicles X, and it seems like the Switch port might be taking center stage this week instead of the new console. Insiders have suggested Nintendo could reveal its next console in the first week of January, but insider Pyoro, you all know Pyoro, who is generally reliable when it comes to Nintendo leaks, has claimed there will only be news for Xenoblade Chronicles X Definitive Edition. When asked about the Switch 2 reveal speculation on X, Pyro remained coy on the subject until someone asked directly about Xenoblade, which prompted a vague emoji to suggest that will be the announcement, talking about Xenoblade Chronicles X. When probed further, Pyro, who originally teased Xenoblade Chronicles X Definitive Edition announcement last year, before it was officially announced, replied, "Last time, due to my vagueness, people expected a Switch 2 announcement, but it turned out to be Xenoblade. I don't want to mislead you all again." Asked directly if any announcement coming this week, they eventually replied, Xenoblade. You can see it there. And in fact, I've got the tweet here. You can see it there. So we get in something this week, and he just outright says Xenoblade. More than that, on Twitter, the other insider, Samus Hunter, she went a little bit further. You can see me a little bit here. You want to see my beautiful face, don't you? He or she goes a bit further, says priorities and upcoming Xenoblade Chronicles X news for this week. While I haven't received any information on the content or specific release timing for the trailer, it was planned for an early January release that does fit this week. And then they go further, say, so I would say that the reveal plans for the Switch 2 have not changed, despite some internal concerns following the leaks. Don't expect bigger things right now for this week. So forget Switch 2 announcements apparently this week. I personally always thought it wouldn't come before Donkey Kong Country Returns. Anyways, I always thought it'd be the 3rd or 4th week of January. What's the reveal date for Switch 2 again? Late January, early February is what I was told some time ago. Someone else says, this is what Nate the Hate said. You said they're going to release the trailer early this January for leaks and rumors. For me, we will have a March reveal and September release with a new 3D Mario. I don't know about that. She goes further. I said there were internal evaluations that may lead to earlier Switch 2 announcements than planned. That would move Switch 1 announcements like Xenoblade X later. So anyway, so they're going into it anyways. But what is all said and done is apparently we will be getting an announcement, further announcements, possibly an overview trailer on Xenoblade Chronicles X Special Edition, Definitive Edition. And this kind of lines up. I don't have the picture of it now, but we saw yesterday, it was announced by Nintendo that I think on the 8th and 9th of January, they will be having, behind the scene works. I forgot what it's called now. What's it called? Behind the scene works. They're going to be fixing things in the backstage, which means it sounds as though they're probably going to be prepping some kind of presentation, i.e. a direct. I thought at the time maybe they would be getting ready to add more games to the NSO app, but it seems as though maybe Nintendo is preparing for a Xenoblade Chronicles X a special edition announcement, maybe an overview trailer, maybe even a demo. It could even be a demo. So I don't know what you guys think about that. Let me just quickly see what you guys are saying. 1 sec. Hold on. There we go. We could get an announcement. We could get an announcement for the announcement anytime now. How much of a heads up were given for the Switch reveal trailer? Oh, I think the Switch reveal trailer was just given the day before, wasn't it? She is just copying Pyro. Yeah, I know. I've seen Samus Hunter before, and I'm a bit unsure, and they have gotten things wrong before, and I'm always wary that when one leaker insider says something, a lot seem to jump on the bandwagon as well. That's fine. Redbeard, is it Redbeard and Sausage? If you, I think you might be new here. If you are, hands to you, bro. Hold on, you can't see me right now. That's a bit of a pain. There you go. You can see me now. Yeah, welcome to you. If you are new here, by the way, all our subscribers automatically get put into our Switch 2 giveaway. So, furthermore than that, there's another story. Now it's the one from Platinum Games, which they are prepping. Here we go. Let me just get this ready. They are prepping for celebrations for 15 years of Bayonetta. Now, this is good news and worrying news for me in a way. I'm going to tell you why in a second. Some of you guys know what's been going on at Platinum Games the last year, and I'm a bit worried for the future of games like Bayonetta 3, Astral Chains, and such. So, Platinum Games released this on Twitter, and basically thanking everyone for their support. And it says, here we go. Bayonetta was released internationally in January 2010, so we're making 2025 into a year of celebration. We have a few things in store to celebrate this milestone, so keep your eyes peeled. Now, 2025, they could be doing a bunch of stuff, right? But surely one of them would be releasing a Bayonetta 3 special edition for the Switch 2. And this time, rather than running 720 60, maybe running 1080 or 4K 60. In fact, surely they can make the Switch 1 game run 4K 60. So amongst what else they might do, surely they will be releasing a Switch 2 version of Bayonetta 3 4K 60. That game needs it. That would be incredible. But further to this, and they did release a statement, and I'm going to read that statement, but the article I'm going to read also talks about Hideki Kamiya, who of course was the director of Bayonetta and a bunch of other games, Beautiful Joe. You know, he's like he was the main guy at Platinum, and he left a year ago to create his own studio, and with him taking Platinum Games employees. So that's got me really worried for the future of games like this. Now, if we go over to the article, I'll get it for you. Hold on, where is the one I want? I think it's here. So, okay, we read what they said. There's so many adverts on these pages. Here we go. This is what they said. You can see it, right? Yeah, okay. Moving forward, we will continue to take on new challenges to create games that surprise and delight our fans. We look forward to your continued support of Bayonetta and Platinum Games. Now, Hideki Kamiya, who was, again, the director at Platinum Games, the director of all the best games, he left a year ago. And it says, Hideki Kamiya's Platinum exit came as a surprise to many outside onlookers. For nearly 2 decades, the Bayonetta and Wonderful 101, which I bought recently, director was the studio's creative leader and its vice president. Speaking to VGC in a recent interview to discuss his new studio Clovers, Kamiya explained the reason for his departure. Now, this is where it gets very interesting. Here you go. There you can see him there, the main man at Clovers. And of course, he is making a sequel to Okami, the much-loved game. Okay, here we go. If I was satisfied at Platinum, says Kamiya, then I wouldn't have left. There's a way I believe games should be made, a philosophy, a mindset of how games should be made. Koyama approached me and we shared the same mindset and philosophy about game development. Asked if he was concerned that Platinum might react negatively to Clovers, especially considering it was actively hiring former employees. Kamiya said he was more concerned for the future of his former team members there. If there was one thing I am worried about, it's the fact that I was VP and chief game designer of Platinum Games, And so with me quitting, I worry about the people there, the staff there, he said. Of course, if they're motivated and happy at Platinum, I believe that's the right path for them. But, and this is the phrase, but if there are others who mindset aligns more with what we're building here at Clover's, we want to welcome them and provide a path for them too. I see that as a responsibility I have to those people after leaving Platinum. So whilst it's amazing, Platinum Games and Bayonetta is 15 years old now, this has me worried for future Platinum games, such as Bayonetta 4. What about that game with such important people, not just Kamiya himself, but a bunch of possibly talented members of that team leaving to follow him over at Clover? What about games like Astro Chain? That's another one. Hold on, I've got let me get the trailer here so you guys can see. This is what's really got me very worried indeed. I must admit. I can see your chats there. So, I don't know what you guys think. I don't know if this makes you worried for the future. Of course, it's going to be amazing for Clover, right? The fact that Clover are going to have a talented team going forward. And of course, they're going to be making Okami. And Kamiya was talking very fondly about making another Okami game, and he also mentioned Beautiful Joe. So if they end up making Beautiful Joe 3, that would be incredible. So again, that's the news for today. We've got brand new opinions on the Switch 2, the power of it. We've got Xenoblade Chronicles seemingly going to have some kind of announcement, overview trailer or something like that this week, and we've got Platinum Games who says they're going to be celebrating Bayonetta's 15th birthday with lots of surprises. I am asking whether one of those will be some kind of special edition of Bayonetta 3, maybe all of them on the Switch 2, maybe a trilogy pack. That would be insane, running on the Switch 2 4K 60. So those are the stories right now. I do want to get into some questions with you guys. I think that would be really, really fun. So let me see what you guys think. Ask me. This is going to be Q&A. The last 10 minutes of the show will be a Q&A. So let me know what you guys want to talk about, what you want to ask me, and I will. Here we go. Give me a sec. I'm just going to put something in the background so you can see. And see if I can read your messages as well. Okay, right. Give me 1 second. I'm trying to find something. I can't bloody find it. Give me a sec, guys. Okay, it'll have to be that. Okay. Right, so I've got your questions there. So there we go. And let me just put something in the background, which I can't see because I'm so blind. Here we go. Right, give me a sec. Oh, nope. Here we go. Let's just make this full screen. Just have something running there in the background. I think that'll be nice. There we go. Right. So let's get to your questions. Give me a sec. Let's find just some kind of video. Right. 1 second. I'm going to put some Star Fox in the background. And then we're going to talk about what we think about all this power shiz. Here we go. That's some Star Fox. Right. So to your questions, friends, let's have a look. This is the last part of the show, the Q&A. Remember, if you're brand new here, make sure you hit that like and subscribe. All subscribers, of course, as I said, do get put into our Switch 2 giveaway. So, right. First off, I can see. Let me scroll up a little bit. Okay, here we go. Let me scroll up. So we got Tony K. How's it going, Tony K? Astro Chain was one of my favorite Nintendo Platinum games next to Bayonetta 2 3. Absolutely. I don't know if this is controversial. By the way, let me know if the background music is too loud. Do you want me to lower it? Hopefully it's not too loud. I forgot to ask. This might be controversial, but I actually preferred Astro Chain to Bayonetta 3, and I loved Bayonetta 2. Bayonetta 2 was probably one of my top 3 favorite games on the Wii U. Of course, I bought it on the Switch as well. But I loved Bayonetta 3. It wasn't perfect. I didn't like the sections with I think it's Viola, her name. I didn't like her sections. I loved the 2D sections. Those levels were amazing, and I loved the fact that it was lots of ideas. It was a little rough, and I think if any game showed me that the Switch hardware was aging, it was Bayonetta 3. I think that game struggled, but I still loved it. But Astral Chain was perfection. I think it's the best exclusive on the Switch, if I'm honest. I think it's amazing. I don't even mind it's 30 frames. The combat was so inventive, so beautiful. I think it's the best looking game on Switch. Beautiful game. But I don't know. Are you guys worried for the future of Platinum Games? It's going to be very interesting to see their next game. That's what Tony K was saying. DG says, I'm looking for your channel, but are you playing Mario Party again? If you're talking to me, DG, I will be playing it. Here we go. Let me scroll down. Nedson says, so no Switch announcement this week, but that don't mean it's far away. No, it's definitely not far away. By the way, I love your logo, Nedson. I think it's going to be this week. I don't know what you guys think. We spoke about it yesterday, but I believe it is definitely going to be this week for sure. That's what I'm banking on. Sorry, not this week, this month. I think I put a bet down of the 23rd or 24th of this month. I just don't believe they're going to announce the Switch before Donkey Kong Country is out. Donkey Kong Country returns. Not because it's going to affect anything, but it's just tidy, right? Get it all out, announce it closer to the end of January, and then in early February they've got the investors meeting, right? They've got the investors meeting, so that way they show the Switch in January and they walk into that investors meeting like kings, man. Like, yo, we've got everything ready. The Switch 2 is going to sell like crazy. We've got all these AAA ports coming our ways. We've got support from all the big publishers, developers, and that looks mighty fine to investors. So, also, by the way, make sure it's muted. It is muted. Good. Oh, you did like and stuff. Thank you so much, Red Beard and Sausage. God bless you, my good friend. I appreciate it so much. In fact, have even more hands. Oh, why am I getting no hands in the background? I don't know what's going on here. Nothing's going where it's meant to go. Anyways, there you go. Tony says, how are you enjoying Wonderful 101? Do you think Platinum Games might continue? Want to switch there. Might continue that IP. Oh, I don't think they will, because I'm not sure how much, what do you call it? Wonderful 101 sold. That's the main problem. I am liking it low so far. You guys can see if I show you here, I bought a special. I see it's not really a special edition. It's just a nice box art. But I started playing it last night, actually, Tony, and it's so inventive. It's so fun. It's the kind of games I want more of, to be honest. But I'm not gonna lie, the front cover makes me want to play Beautiful Joe so much. DG says, ATB, is Astral Chain hard to beat? It's got different difficulty levels, I think. But the first time I tried to beat it, and I think Tony K, if he's still there, he's going to laugh his head off. The first time I tried to beat it, I got all the way to the end with basically not upgrading my characters. I don't think I realized you could upgrade them as much as you could. So I was so underpowered, and somehow I got to the final boss, more or less. But I just couldn't beat them. I just don't think it was possible with how my characters were powered up that I could beat it. So I had to give up and start again. But I wouldn't say it's crazily difficult. It's a good challenge. I don't know what Tony K thinks, but it is a good challenge. As I said, it's the most beautiful game on the Switch. There's a part of the game, a level when you're on the bike, the futuristic bike, and you go through a tunnel, and the game is just so beautiful. And the music just, that's another thing I prefer. I prefer the music in Astral Chain over Bayonetta 3, I have to admit. It just, honestly, I would give Astral Chains a minimum of 9, probably give it 9.5 out of 10. It's beautiful. Tony K's laughing at me. Charlie Delgado's in the house, and he says, what games do you think will be on release date for Switch 2? Maybe Mario Kart 9, definitely Metroid Prime 4. Do you know what, Charlie Delgado? Welcome, by the way, again. I'm just just a heads up, I'm going to be on here another 10 minutes maximum, and then I'm going to say goodnight. I'm trying to make these videos no more than half an hour, and we've been here 35 minutes already, because they're news videos, right? So I want them to keep nice and short, so if anyone watches them afterwards, they can kind of, get through it. And I'm trying to make it a little bit cleaner. Hopefully you guys have enjoyed the video today. Let me know, if, what you think, if you have any input, if there's anything you want me to include. What games do I think are going to be there on launch? And you guys can, say in the chat. What I think would be amazing, and I said this yesterday, what I think would be incredible, and I don't think it's going to happen the more I think about it, and you mentioned both of them, Charlie, what would be amazing would be to release with Mario Kart 9 and Metroid Prime 4. And people instantly say, that's insane. Nintendo would never do that. They would cannibalize each other, or Mario Kart really would cannibalize Metroid Prime 4. And ordinarily, I would agree with that every time that was said. But this is what I think, right? I think most people, when they buy a new console, there are certain games they'll play all year round and all that kind of stuff, but there's certain type of games that you want to play with a new console for it to be a showcase, right? A showpiece. You want there to be a game on launch that shows off what the machine can do. And Mario Kart, as pretty as Mario Kart games are, that is not a game that you say, hey, we're going to show you Mario Kart 9 to show you how powerful the Switch 2 is. I don't think so. But Mario Kart 9 would sell Switch 2 consoles like crazy. But if you release that and a game like Metroid Prime 4, which can be a graphical showpiece, and this is when it works in various ways, it wows people and it's different enough that they'll probably buy both games. They'll buy Mario Kart so they can play with the family, play with their friends online, and they'll buy the game that they can get lost into. A game with a big world, that's a graphical showpiece, that's epic, that has big bosses, right? A game that shows off the Switch and what it can do. And add to that, if it comes out the same day on the Switch 1, then you could also show it as a comparison piece. So you can show off Metroid Prime 4 on the original Switch and then show how much better it runs and looks on the Switch 2. That would be insane for them to do. Will they do it? Something just tells me no. Something just tells me it'll be a 3D Mario, but also a game that shows off whatever the unique idea is. Some people think it's a mouse. I think it's going to be something to do with AR or VR. So they'll have a game, like a tech demo game, like a Wii Sports, like a 1-2 Switch, that shows off the concept, whatever the idea is. I'm kind of lost for words that everyone's just forgotten about that side of Nintendo. And so I think we'll get a 3D Mario, a game that shows off the new idea, and a big AAA port of note, whether that's Call of Duty, whether that's something like I don't know, Elden Ring, something like that, right? Like, do you remember when we saw the initial trailer for the original Switch, and in the trailer they showed Skyrim? Imagine this time they show Elden Ring. It's going to be insane. And I think they will have something like that. And they'll do the typical thing. They'll have some kind of Nintendo type exclusive things in it. You can dress up as Link, like Skyrim. I don't know. But that's what I think. I don't know what you guys think. Nathan, welcome Nathan. He says, Switch 2 will have less teraflops, but will have faster storage, read speeds, and load times, more RAM, and DLSS should balance out. Power isn't just about GPU specs. Bam, Nathan. There you go. Nathan's been here before, I know, but welcome back, Mr. Nathan. Always a pleasure to have you here. 100% agree. This is why when people were panicking that, oh my God, there's no way it's going to be 8 nanometer chips, it's going to be 4 or 5 or it's over. I always thought it'd be 8. Because it's Nintendo. And in this case, it's not a bad thing, because using things, as Nathan says, like DLSS, like more RAM, like newer technology, it's going to bring up the comparisons anyway. It's going to bridge the gap to what we see visually between the Switch 2 and the PS4 Pro and the PS5. The difference between Doom Eternal on the original Switch compared to that on PS5, right? That gap, when we get Doom, if we get Doom, I forgot what it's called now, the next Doom game, the next Doom game on the Switch 2 compared to the PS5 version will be much closer than Doom Eternal was on Switch compared to PS4 Pro and PS5. It's gonna be much closer, much closer. You're not gonna get 720p anymore. I had no way. I believe like the lowest you'll get even for AAA games is like 900p at the absolute lowest. And I don't think that's the case. I think it'll be 1080. But let's say 900 was the absolute worst in handheld mode. Man, do you know how many PS4 games will run in 900p and no one said anything? Do you know how many were? Come on. So, Dark Ages, thank you, Tony. Tony also talks about the mouse con. There we go. The mouse con, yo. Oh, man. I'm not convinced if it's a mouse. I don't know. I don't know what it is. Maybe it is because, you know, it's such a weird place for it to be on the inside of the Joy-Con. Maybe it is a mouse. And in that case, maybe we do get Mario Maker 3. Maybe we get Zelda Maker. Maybe we get a return of Mario Paint. You know, could be. Animal Crossing launch title. That's another game that would sell Switch 2's insanely amount, DG. That's a good one as well. You know, I do think... Hold on, let me just rewind this. Oh, it's because the trailer's running in the background. I do think we will be getting... Some people are, you know, talking about ARMS, right? Because the ARMS team, I believe, is the same team that makes Mario Kart. I do think we'll get another ARMS too. I know it sold, I'm not going to remember this now, but I'm sure it sold a couple of million at least, which for most people is amazing. And for a brand new IP, is damn good. And it's a game that has so much potential. The characters were really fun. The music was insane. The mechanic worked really well. They need to do something so you're not always so far apart, like to make the fighting a little bit more, I don't know, sporadic, a little bit more, you know, intensive. But I'm sure Nintendo could think of something. That's a game I definitely believe that deserves a second chance. And I do think, of course, in the first year, we'll probably get Splatoon 4, at least it being shown. I hope we don't get Zelda for a while. It's a laser pointer for cats. Amazing. Tony K says, here we go. Since Nintendo have made a mouse con, Hori needs to make a keyboard for Nintendo Switch 2. Yeah. Have you guys ever seen the keyboard for the original Nintendo Switch? The massive keyboard that's got the Joy-Cons on the sides. Hilarious. Bloody hilarious. Splatoon launch title. Oh, man, that would be crazy. That would be crazy. I mean, in Japan, that would sell out like crazy. Yeah. I mean, I have seen enough about Mario Kart 9 that where before I would be like, nah, I give it 20% chance of it being the launch title. I now probably give it like a 40% chance. 40% chance of it being a title. That's what I'm thinking now. But I mean, you know, who knows? I could be completely wrong. You know, in all honesty. Let's see what else people say. Oh, sorry, I lost your messages for a second. Well, I'm about to go, but let me just read the last few messages if we have any. I think that is all the messages. Anyway, that is all the news for today. I hope you guys did enjoy the video. Oh, actually, I was going to say, I am going to be streaming in about an hour or so. In about an hour and a half, I'm going to be streaming with my pal, Bidia 507. We're going to attempt to conquer another level on Sniper Elite 4, a badass game. One of the best impossible ports on the Switch that no one talks about. So we're gonna try our best to get through another level. I'm gonna be streaming that in about an hour and a half. I think we're gonna stream it for a couple of hours, in about an hour and a half, I reckon. So if you guys want to see more of me, want to see more content, make sure you come along and catch our stream in about an hour and a half. PG is here, already disappointed. Honestly, people shouldn't have leaked the Switch 2. Do you know what? Before I go, I'm just going to address that because welcome PG23, one of our long time supporters. Always a pleasure to see you here, PG23. By the way, anyone who is new in the chat, thank you again for the likes on today on the video. If you want to follow us on Discord, Twitter, both in the description below. We do giveaways and news there. In fact, someone won a giveaway earlier today. I think he won it twice in a row. PG, with that, I am kind of disappointed as well. I think I'm more disappointed that the machine looks so much like the original Switch, but I still think it's gonna. I think there'll be a lot of differences we just don't know yet, and I think what Nintendo ends up showing is gonna wow so much and be so different, and I think they're gonna show us things that no one expected and that haven't leaked. That I think we're gonna kind of forget this. That's why I think exactly like Scruffy says, right? By the way, Mr. Green, welcome, Mr. Green. Good to see you here as always. You caught the end of the stream, but always a pleasure to see you, Mr. Scruffy says, at least software wasn't leaked. So at least, which is the important thing, because right now Nintendo's thinking, God damn man, everything's leaking. But right now the entire world is talking about our console, so at least there's that. But if software leaks, then Nintendo is unveiling it the very next day. So if I was Nintendo, I'd show it right now. But as Tony K says, exactly, PG, you have every right to be disappointed regardless of that. Yeah, exactly, absolutely. It's getting to a point where there's just so much. What did you give away today? It was just a voucher we gave away on my Discord. But there you can see over my shoulder, every subscriber, we will be giving away a Switch 2 console about a week before it launches. So when Nintendo unveils it and they give us the date, I will organize the stream, and about a week before, we'll do the giveaway and someone will get a Switch 2. So we're going to go hard in 2025. If you are new here, we regularly at least once a month do our giveaway multiplayer mayhem streams, usually around the 15th. There is one coming up in a couple of weekends. And on that, we play loads of multiplayer games so everyone can join in. Rocket League, Fortnite, whatever, Mario Kart, Splatoon. And we do usually giveaways there. We give away a bunch of games and vouchers as well. So make sure you subscribe and all that beautiful stuff. You know what? I usually like to thank before I go, so I'm going to run through all the names quickly that I see. Mr. Green, Scruffy, DG, PG23, Tony K, Tony, Neston, of course, PG23, Crafty Cookie. Hold on, let me keep going up. Nathan, of course, who was here. Charlie Delgado, Neston, of course. Red Beard Sausage, hell yeah, my good friend, good to see you here. Thanks so much for the subscribing, you legend. Right, it's not going to let me screw up anymore. Akuma White, I didn't even see Akuma White was here. Akuma White, Sasaki. Ioku was here as well, my good friends, Akuma and Ioku. This year he says, this year would like to have PC control so I can play Bayonetta 1 and Ninja Gaiden. Hell yeah. So I want to thank all of you here. I will be back tomorrow in some shape or form if there's lots of news. By the way, Malio man, welcome to the channel and thank you so much for dropping by. I will be back tomorrow with more news. I might even drop a stream, but definitely more news, whatever that news ends up being. So, beautiful people, I will be back in an hour and a half to stream Sniper Elite 4 with my friend Bidia 507. If you don't know the game, it's an incredible shooter. Third-person shooter, one of the best ports on the Switch. So if you want to come and hang out with us a little bit, in about an hour and a half, I'll be back. Everyone else, I hope you all have an amazing night, and I will see you tomorrow. Take care, my friends. Bye, guys. Bye.